You know, it's said that when we prioritize, we're organizing ourselves into a disciplined pattern of behavior, that we set in order those things that we feel as though are necessary to do first and second and third. When it comes to priorities, I have found more often than not, anyone that I talk to, when I mention the end of the world, or I mention that Jesus is coming again, or that they don't know the day or the hour with which they would die, literally from either a heart attack or getting hit by a car or some inadvertent accidental crime that happens around them and they become a victim, or some other incident with which they suffer the consequences of their own action and suddenly their life comes to an end, that are they prepared to meet their Maker? Have they taken the time to recognize that not only is their time short because of the possibility of death, but that they're living in the last generation? Because you see, if you really believed it, if you thought that this was the end of the world, then you can't say it wouldn't make a difference in your life, because you can pretend that you make it a priority, but you don't wake up each day thinking that this may be the last day. You don't wake up as though this is the last day of your life. And no matter how many cute ideas we have or wonderful religious thoughts that we provoke people with, no one really expects today to be raptured. I do, because I want it bad. I want out of here so bad that I can taste it, I can see it, I can breathe it. It's like, God, get us gone. And yet I know there's a little more time left, not much. But I prioritize my life to say, look, I'm not planning on retirement. I'm sorry, Jesus is coming. I'm not planning on seeing these children grow up to be old men. I'm sorry, Jesus is coming. I'm not planning on seeing this world get worse than it already is. I'm sorry, Jesus is coming. Because I see in the priorities of life the wisdom in knowing that Jesus is coming, not because it makes me live differently, but because it's a reality and a fact. Jesus is coming. And it hasn't been said, stressed, or emphasized enough to the reality that the person rearranges their life to know that in less than 10 years, Jesus is coming. Because you don't have time left. Jesus is coming. And whether you accept it now or you accept it later, it's not happening in 2011 or it's not happening in 2012 like the popular doomsday prophets say, because that's just a sign of the times of getting you prepared for it or getting you burned out by someone crying wolf too many times. But the reality of when Israel became a nation became such that we knew that those things were beginning to snowball in effect. And it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger until it suddenly comes crashing in on the reality of, guess what? The end is here. You have no time left. So what is your priority? How are you going to live knowing you will not see your grandchildren grow up? Knowing that you yourself, before you die, unless by some other means of some normal action of the reality of the world we live in that's violent, that you die of a normal cause or accidental, you are going to see Jesus return. Isn't it time to get your house in order and not someone else's? Isn't it time to take as a fact that Jesus is coming? Shouldn't you be seeking to do what Jesus said to do, knowing the times we live in? In Tozer, faith and holiness linked to Christ's return. But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. 1 John 3:2. The Bible does not approve of modern curiosity that plays with the scriptures and which seeks only to impress credulous and gullible audiences. I cannot think of even one lonely passage in the New Testament which speaks of Jesus' revelation manifestation, appearing, or coming that is not directly linked with moral conduct, faith, and spiritual holiness. The appearing of the Lord Jesus on this earth once more is not an event upon which we may curiously speculate, and when we do, only that we sin. The prophetic teacher who engages in speculation to excite the curiosity of his hearers without providing them with a moral application is sinning even as he speaks. There have been enough foolish formulas advanced about the return of Jesus by those who are merely simply curious to cause many believers to give the matter no further thought or any concern personally to themselves. But Peter said to expect the appearing of Jesus Christ. Paul said there is a crown of righteousness laid up in glory for all those who love his appearing. John spoke of his hope of seeing Jesus and bluntly wrote, "Every man that has this hope in him purifies himself even as he is pure." Are you ready for the appearing of Jesus Christ? Or are you among those who are merely curious about his coming? Are you a tabloid Christian? Do you give in to the latest fad and fancy that you find on the internet or YouTube or some other prophecy teacher that you curiously discovered and all of a sudden gotten excited and a little buzz on for a few minutes? Does it only interest you for a while, and does it not change you at all, and you go right about with any petty sin you might be involved in? Do you just go on with treating your loved ones or your spouse with disregard? Do you care that Jesus is coming? Is it important that someone else know that Jesus is coming, that they might get ready? Or like a man who sees a building burning down and stands and watches as the people inside scream for help and perish in the flames. Are you watching that aspect of Jesus coming, the world ending? Or are you looking forward to the idea that Jesus is coming to reward you for your faithfulness, for your duty, for your continual adamant desire to be like him so that you could share with others more so than what you've ever done before, that you are setting aside those sins that so easily have tripped you up before, but you're putting it away. You're getting less attracted by the world, less distracted by politics, less involved in the economics of the world and its macro idealisms of what they think is going to happen. And you've now focused in on what Jesus says is coming now in your generation. Are you looking forward to Jesus, or are you looking forward to the end of the world? I hope, I pray that you are cleaning up your act and getting your house in order, because God is going to ask, what have you done with your life? What have you done, and have you done the things I said? If you don't know what they are, you need to find